Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice: coffee, energy drink, tea. If you don't like caffeine, grab some water as we go over this week's crypto news. Lately, been putting out a lot of automotive content. I am sorry if you do not like that. Please just go ahead and skip on to the next crypto-related content or tech-related content. But this channel is going to continue to do live streams when applicable, as you all know. Been dealing with a lot of family stuff, and the hits just keep on coming. More on that later towards the end of the stream. Right now, we can see Bitcoin's at 86K. It has fallen. It tried to claim 73,000, but it fell short, and we got pushed right back down. Much of the altcoins are suffering just as well. We only have a few altcoins that are in the slight green territory, like Tron, Internet Computer, Leo, so on and so forth. But the market is down. Bitcoin dominance is still high at 58.47%. Today, we're going to look at Bitcoin, do some TA, technical analysis, go over some various articles about what could happen, what's the possibility. Bitcoin had a historical death cross on a 3-day chart. What does it mean? The stock market also being impacted by the current economic and geopolitical situations like the war in Iran. Trump sides with the crypto firms against the banks, because as we all know right now, banks offer you, the end user, CDs, right? Or various alternatives or avenues for you to store your money long term and earn something back. And we know these CD rates have dropped as the interest rates are getting dealt with by the Fed. So we're going to look at mathematically what would happen if you locked up $5,000 in a CD versus if you kept it in USDC or Leo, whatever these stable coins are, right? That's the biggest point, is you could earn just as much, if not more, maintaining a stable coin on a crypto platform, but the risks are higher. Not all of them are FDIC insured, so that's where you got to find the balance and really do your due diligence and research these companies before you go and put $5 grand, 10 grand, $1,000 into them. The Clarity Act we know is coming up. There's some warnings about that. Bitcoin miners offload 15K in October. Kazakhstan Central Bank quietly joins the Crypto Reserve Club. They're planning to buy into crypto, into Bitcoin and stuff like that. Startup company trying to mine Bitcoin in space. I remember there was a company that hit me up and was asking, consulting with me on how they could do it for low power, stuff like that. And there's nothing like a BitAxe to help you do that. Now, you might not be able to mine a block in space because it'll take you a very, very long time with just one single BitAxe, but technically it is doable. And just to say you mine in space, I think was the company's overall goal. And so if they're still looking, I consulted on that, but I haven't heard much from it. And Solo Satoshi launches BitAxe Turbo Touch. We'll talk all about this in today's video. Long-winded opening, whatever. I hope you guys are all doing good. Thank you so much for stopping by. Good morning to you, Kevin, from Lakeland, Florida. I'm over here in Jayville, Duval, Jacksonville, Florida. Appreciate you stopping by. Senator Rabbit Panda, Jane Bohannon, and Rudd. I hope you guys are all doing good wherever you're watching on X, Twitch, or YouTube. But as you can see right now, Bitcoin, we got these blue lines here. These blue lines kind of were like my Bitcoin needs to hold this, or Bitcoin needs to do Y, or Bitcoin whatever, right? Like major levels, right? 62K, 62.8K. This one's at 68.2, this one's at 70.7, this one's at 73.2 and 76.8. Like, you could see if we zoom out in the past that some of these levels were support in this tight window, this tight range, right? Underneath 78K but above 60K. They were support or resistance in the past, right? If you zoom out. So realistically, we need to hold this, right? If we want Bitcoin to do good, or to start doing good in the short term, we really need it to hold this level. Now, it's not the end-all be-all, because look, we already fell below it, right, this week. Like, we pushed up over this past week. Since I've been gone, over the past couple weeks, we've pushed up and reclaimed the level. And I said, if we fell below this last target of 62.8K, that we couldn't be in for some more pain. And we were kind of putting in this, I think this is what you would call a descending wedge. And usually a descending wedge is a break to the upside. And it looked like we were going to do that, but then we hit the top and we came right back down. But as I said on X yesterday, if you're not following me, please consider doing so. This could be a retest, right? And maybe my blue line is just a little bit off right here. And technically we can move this blue line to below where we are right now. But we'll see how things go. I'm going to wait to the end of the weekend to see, you know, how things pan out, how things play out. But right now, we got 3 consecutive days of red after doing, over the past couple weeks, a decent move upwards. Percentage-wise, if we go from the bottom of this guy to the top of this guy, that was a 16% increase is where we were at. 15%. But since then, at least in the past 4 days, we have fallen 7%. So just as quickly as we went up, we could come right back down. So is it over? Is what everybody's wanting to know. Was this over here, February 6, 2026, was that the short-term bottom? And my answer to you is, and this is not financial advice, is I don't think so. But I hope so. And I know that's a convoluted answer, but like, the problem is in today's world, and you can hate it or love it, and I know everybody's got their opinions and everybody's entitled to it. I'm not disrespecting that whatsoever. I want you guys to be vocal. I want you guys to be active. I want you guys to put your 2 cents in with your local government, your state, town, city, whatever. Be involved, please, especially when it comes to the regulating and, basically laying down the foundation for crypto. Because crypto is old now. 2008, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very new. So it still needs guidance. It still needs people to support it, but also guide it, right? We don't want it to be used for nefarious purposes, even though it still is, just like fiat currency, whatever country you're in. But if we can kind of get the foundation laid and be in the rooms and be active and be vocal with political advisors, businessmen, investors, whatever, and help steer and push crypto, specifically Bitcoin and the top altcoins, into the right direction, I think blockchain can have a huge impact on the world as a whole. But the hopeful aspect is we really need it. We really need it. And the unfortunate aspect of why we could fall further is because of geopolitical issues. At one damn second, somebody with enough influence, I don't care if it's the U.S. president or a different president or whatever, oil regime, big tech, Elon, I don't give a fuck. One of them can do something stupid, say something stupid, and it just wipes out 15%, 16% of whatever gains we made and stuff like that. Whether it's the tariffs, or whether it's something else, or whether it's a new attack on something, whether it's some country getting involved in backing Iran, or one country getting in and saying that the U.S. messed up or supporting, it doesn't matter. Something like that can cause us to pull right back. So I'm hoping, with tax returns coming, that more retail investment will come in. I'm hoping that the people that have been pulling out of these Bitcoin ETFs will reallocate. I'm hoping that they just left one ETF because they didn't like the rates they were getting over there, and they went to a different ETF, because you got to wait some, depending on what it is, you might have to wait a little bit. But I'm hoping that we get back into it as a piece of dust just falls right in front of me. Why Bitcoin could hold 70K despite its best week, couldn't hold 70K despite its best week of Wall Street news in months. Despite the wave of crypto native wins, like BNY Mellon acting as an ETF custodian of Kraken, gaining Fed payment access, Bitcoin is increasingly ignoring positive industry news to follow global trends such as the US dollar index and interest rates. The same Wall Street adoption that the industry spent years chasing has tightly coupled with Bitcoin with NASDAQ, leading to a sell-off of crypto right alongside tech stocks. And that's the thing. We've been talking about this on the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I know I give long-winded answers or sometimes repeat myself, and I apologize for that. It's just my quirks, I guess you could say. But definitely would love to have you. But long story short, Bitcoin's trading like a tech stock. It has been for the longest time. And I've always been saying, members of this channel know that, which you can sign up down below, that we need to decouple from the traditional tech bros and tech stocks and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the same suits that are in the tech stocks are also in crypto. We had a lot of our gains wiped off with the AI hype. The AI hype is still running. The bubble is expected to pop. People have been calling for the bubble to pop. But until then, that's taking a lot of liquidity out of Bitcoin's possible hands. While the price is currently stuck in a downward grind, the plumbing of the industry is becoming more robust, with heavyweights like ICE investing in exchanges and the White House encouraging banks to work within the sector. Hence the reason why there's an article in today's video about Trump siding with crypto to battle the banks, stable coins and stuff like that, to compete against what the banks' offerings are. So we saw Bitcoin push towards 74K. I saw 73.2, something like that, and we struggled to hold it. We couldn't maintain it. The rally didn't last. By the end of the week, the largest cryptocurrency have slipped below 69K, losing 110 billion in market cap. And there's a lot of leverage trading going on, which is why I mentioned on X, please stop using leverage unless you know what the hell you're doing, because you're just going to cause a domino effect if all of you guys get wiped out, being over bro hype, game, whatever you guys do. So Morgan Stanley named Bank of New York Mellon as a custodian for a spot Bitcoin ETF exposure, adding another layer of Wall Street infrastructure around the asset. Crypto exchange Kraken gained access to Federal Reserve payment system, a milestone in integrating crypto firms with the U.S. banking network. Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, not that type of ICE, but the other one, the owner of New York Stock Exchange, invested crypto exchange OKX, valuing it at $25 billion, while U.S. President DJT publicly suggested traditional banks should strike a workable relationship with the crypto industry. Individually, any one of these developments might have sparked a market rally in earlier crypto cycles when institutional adoption was seen as a catalyst that would send crypto into a massive bull run. Instead, now that adoption is here, the market is ignoring its macro forces have taken over, or macro forces have taken over. Why the sell-off? Well, obviously, the U.S. dollar strengthening has a conflict is strengthening as the conflict with Iran has intensified. There will be no deal in Iran, says President DJT. This spurred a spike in oil prices, and we've seen that, right? Me and my son were driving around, and we see the local prices. Now, this isn't even the full effect of it. This is just the beginning of it, and some gas stations near you might be just taking advantage of it and raising the prices up now, even though it hasn't fully impacted them yet. So just be mindful of that. So with that spike in oil prices, new inflation concerns, and shifting expectations around interest rates, despite jobs data showing a weakening market, we are showing a lot of jobs, no bueno, which put pressure on the risk assets globally. Equities moved to the downside as the dollar index rose, and crypto, which is increasingly traded alongside tech stocks, followed. If that's not enough, cracks in the global private credit market expanded into Wall Street giant BlackRock, which reportedly began limiting withdrawals from the $26 billion private credit fund amid rising redemption requests. Following similar stress at Blue Owl, which sold $1.4 billion in loans last month to meet withdrawals, the event started to rattle investors. So we got a lot of shakiness right now. New conflicts, tariffs, this, that, and the other, even though things are moving forward with building the foundation for blockchain and crypto for the future, the Clarity Act, and so on and so forth. So we're building on shaky ground, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to steady the ship. Who's selling? Well, everybody's asking that question. The macro risk seemed to have spooked mostly the short-term Bitcoin holders. A lot of the weak hands, a lot of the short-term guys are getting out. Guys and girls, investors, whatever. These short-term holders transferred more than 27,000 or 1.8 billion to exchanges in profit over the last 24 hours. One of the largest spikes in recent months, according to Crypto Quant, right? Short-term people saw, hey, Bitcoin's hitting 72, 73. Let's go. Let's get out. Let's go ahead and cash, get profits from where we originally got in at 62, whatever, and call it a day. Short-term investors, typically the most reactive group in the market, and their selling reflects lingering caution amidst the ongoing war with Iran. They just, everybody's flocking to gold, or they have been flocking to gold, not Bitcoin. Even though this is what Bitcoin and Satoshi's vision was intended for, is the unshakiness of the government, the unshakiness of the bank, the unshakiness of the Federal Reserve. Get away from them. They're not reliable. They tend to fuck up, and then you pay the price for it with your tax dollars or whatever. But instead of flocking to Bitcoin, they're flocking to other avenues, which is quite confusing. We talked about this in our previous caffeine and crypto. The only short-term investors currently in profit are those who accumulated Bitcoin between 1 week and 1 month ago at a realized price of roughly 68,000, suggesting some recent buyers above that price are choosing to lock in the gains rather than extend their position, right? Dollar cost average, accumulate more. These guys are, we're talking major hedge investors, big people, big suits, big companies. They're the ones trying to lock in profits, not the average individual. However, if you are the average individual and you've been in Bitcoin for a short term or a long time, I completely understand why you would want to take profits. I completely understand, and I'm not discouraging you to do that. But if you are going to shore up your position and play the long game, and you can afford to do so because you're not suffering in bills and debt, I would recommend playing the long game. Now, financial advice, just saying, dollar cost average, play the long game. If you zoom out on Bitcoin, we're still looking pretty damn good, right? Yeah, we pulled back, but we're basically hitting the 2021 top, right? That's what we're basically hitting, or the 2024 area. So there's a lot of support below us, but we could fall further. And that pits people against each other, and that makes people very scared. And I completely understand. Bitcoin Magazine just in. Bitcoin has hit the most oversold level in 11 years, according to the Ultimate Oscillator. So you can see Bitcoin is very, very oversold. That's what makes me think or hope that February 6th date is the bottom. It's because we're so oversold. However, I cannot predict what DJT or any leader or any country is going to do. I can't. They're so random. They're so inconsistent. They're so spontaneous. I cannot tell you, yeah, that was the bottom. That was it. We're good, guys. You know, stack up. The only thing that you, the average individual, can do is stack them sats, whether it's through dollar cost averaging, mining, and I know mining, unfortunately, is not looking too good because of the cost of electricity. But whatever you can do to stack some sats and accumulate your position, whether it's Bitcoin or other altcoins, is the best way to go over time. If you need to sell like a week from now to cover your car note, don't do it. Don't spend your money on it. Don't risk it. And especially, you know, we just talked about this, and I'm probably going to do a video in the future. The predictive markets is stealing a lot of liquidity from the spot Bitcoin ETFs or the spot Bitcoin market. The predictions market is just stupid. You know, betting on, you know, if Homer Simpson is going to hide in the bush or not. Like, betting on is, you know, some bachelorette going to be the one that wins the battle. And betting on whatever stupid ass shit they put on there. But people are playing in it, and some of them are making money while others are just throwing money out the window for some reason. Bitcoin sees historical death cross on a 3-day chart. What does it mean? Market analyst Ali highlights a recent development on the Bitcoin 3-day chart with significant bearish implications. The leading cryptocurrency still trades below 70K mark following the temporary breakout earlier this week. Bitcoin has now spent an overwhelming majority of the last month within the 60 to 70K range after prices crashed to a new market low late January, early February amid the extended bearish season. On X post March 6th, Ali Martinez shares a key macro insight on Bitcoin price trajectory using historical data from the 3-day trading chart. The seasoned analyst explains that the formation of a particular death cross has consistently preceded the final price drawdown in the market. So that goes back to, was the 6th the bottom? It could be. What he's saying is the final drawdown, meaning like these past 3 days, or maybe this upcoming week, could be like we might fall, for example, where we're at right now. We might fall here to here, right? So a 3 to 4% drop, putting us around 65K, maybe upper 64, or we could come all the way down to 62, do a retest of what we did back in February 6th, a 7% drop, and then go up. So this could, keyword, be the final drawdown. Generally, the def cross represents a bearish technical indicator where a short-term moving average falls below the long-term moving average, indicating that the recent price momentum has weakened relative to a longer-term trend. Not tires here. And there is a rising selling pressure coupled with the potential prolonged downturn. There's been a lot of selling pressure, hence why Bitcoin is in oversold territory. We got the 3-day def cross. We got geopolitical issues. We got political rivalries. We got everything stupid going on. Hence the reason why Bitcoin continues to be down, especially as it trades along with the tech stocks. The common version of def cross appears with the 50-day moving average crossing below the 200 and the key bearish indicator in the Bitcoin market, according to observations shared by Ali Martinez. In 2013, Bitcoin had notably crashed 72% before the 50 to 200 SMA def cross appeared. Thereafter, the market leader recorded an additional 52% fall before reaching a price bottom. Now, I don't think, because that was in 2013, so you can't say, oh no, we're going to fall 52% and apply it to today. I don't think that's the case. But let's just half that. Let's say maybe a 25% drawdown, right? So here we are, about right here. A 25% drawdown will put us around 50K. And I don't even think that might be possible. I think literally, and this is all speculation on my part, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an expert in TA. If you want some experts in TA, maybe check out Tom Crown, K-Dub, Crypto Wendio, a number of my other colleagues, Eric, like, we got some significant support at 53, 54, 55, 60, 62. We got some significant support there. So I just got buffering on one of my screens here. Did you guys get buffering? It says that there's no drop frames, but let me know if something weird happened. But yeah, I don't think a 52% drawdown is likely, because that was back in 2013. But a nice retracement back, a nice retest, and then upwards momentum would be nice, because you're about to get your taxes. Some of us already got taxes. Some of us haven't. We're still waiting. Some of us are still waiting to the April 15th deadline here in the States. I don't know how it works in other countries to file your taxes. So when retail starts getting that money, I have a feeling it might be a little spark. It's very insignificant. Retail investment is very small, considerable to the grand scheme of things, from large hedge funds, large investment companies, vehicles, whatever it might be. But it could be the spark that kind of starts, reinvestment into it. We could have money shift from AI stocks because they're afraid the bubble's going to pop into Bitcoin. We could have money shift from gold because it's still retracing from its previous all-time high, or its most recent all-time high in the short term, into Bitcoin because it's a different investment. It could be a number of different things. But Bitcoin is designed a certain way. The problem is the people that are in it or more involved in it now, because you and I aren't trading on a regular basis. It's only going to be the large institutions, the banks, the big firms that are trading it day in and day out, while you and I are just stacking, hodling, DCAing, mining, whatever. So we're not producing a lot of trade volume. And the volume is lackluster, unfortunately. We talked about that many times. Okay, they just go on and say the same things that we talked about. But yeah, so we had a 3-day def cross back in 2013, and draw down another 52% before finally going up, making a move higher. I don't think that will happen, but we'll see. 50K Bitcoin, though, that would kind of suck. Stock market today: Dow, S&P 500, Nasdaq rebound on hopes of Iran de-escalation as Bitcoin surges. I think this was made Wednesday, March 4th, and as you can see, if we go to the chart, Wednesday, March 4th was a green day, right? If you zoom in here, it was a green day, but obviously shit hit the fan, or hopes were dashed, and then we had a red Thursday, Friday, and then we're having a slightly red Saturday. So the de-escalation didn't happen. It didn't go through, right? There's still this was unnecessary. I know many people don't agree with that, but I just feel like this was unnecessary. This was completely unnecessary, not needed. The world didn't need it. The people didn't need it. The economy didn't need it. But whatever. So yeah, Saturday, that Wednesday, things were looking good. S&P was up. Bitcoin was looking good. Everything was good. Yay, geopolitical tensions have been spurring volatility in the U.S. stocks, and dip buyers playing a part as the price tumbles. Some on Wall Street have warned against counting on President Trump to chicken out and rescue stocks. Trump said on Tuesday that the U.S. would provide insurance and escorts for oil tankers, right? Because we got the Strait of Hormuz that is under threat because of the ongoing attacks and fights and, you know, drone strikes and missiles and blah, blah, blah. So this could be what they were hoping for was a short term, like boom, boom, boom. We took out your leaders. You surrender. They want unconditional surrender. Iran's like, fuck you mean? No. Attack, attack, attack. Your bases are wrong in different countries. So now all of the allies are just like, dude, why did you do that? But we'll see. So it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a short-term thing. I think it's going to drag out longer than everybody was anticipating. But that's my thoughts. And this isn't a political show, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. Trump sides with crypto firms in a $1 trillion battle with banks over stablecoin yield. Let's do some math real quick. We're only halfway through the show. Don't forget, Red Panda Mining will be going live after us, and I will send you on over there. But let's see here. Highest CD rates. Synchrony Bank 4.1. I think that I saw the average was 3.62, something like that. All right, so highest APY for my crypto. Let's see here. Earn up to 14% on your API with staking, but I'm pretty sure you got to sign up with Coinbase One for that. And you got to be careful for if anybody claiming 20%, because that's how FTX and a number of others happen. Block. Celsius. So let's see here. So most major assets between 4 to 8%. I don't trust anything above 20. Okay. Best crypto staking platforms with the highest APY October 2025. This is probably some spam site. Okay, here we go. Binance. They got flexible and fixed rates. Let's take Kraken. I don't think that's true. Let's I'm gonna use an American company. SoFi Crypto. Okay, so let's see here. Kraken Crypto Earn. Let's see what they got here. All right, cool. So you see, so Cardano's only getting 2.27, 2.96, about basically the same as the CD. BitTensor, Cosmos, we got 8 to 9. Let's get a major asset. A major asset. They don't show any stable coins. I'm pretty sure Kraken has a stable coin offering as well. Let's do Solana, right? Not Ethereum, but Solana, right? So Solana, it's about 3 to 3.39 APR, but if you bond it, 6 to 6.7. So we're going to say 6.25 Solana. Let's look up Solana sold to USD. And let's say we want to spend $5,000. So that's 50, almost 60 Solana. And then if we got the, what is the national average? National average CD rates. Where are we at? Where are we at? They say 4%, but I'm not seeing 4%. I saw 3.6 when I took a look the other day. I'm pretty sure it went down. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say 3.75. All right. So $5,000. Let's do some math real quick. And usually CDs are only 6 to 12 months. So $5,000 times 3.75%. Out of that $5,000, you will earn $187 maybe after your 1 year, maybe after your 6 months, whatever it might be. All right, so that's 3.75%. Whereas on Solana, let's go with 6.25 bonded, right? So $5,000 times 6.25%. You're earning $312.50. And on top of that, we talked about staking in the past, at least with Ethereum and a couple others on the channel. The risk is, is Kraken FDIC insured? Like, let's ask that question. Is Kraken FDIC insured? No, it's not. Okay, what about Coinbase? Nope, it's not. Okay, so there's a level of risk there. Yeah, you're making more money in the short term, 6 months, 12 months, depending on how much you lock it up, right? That 312 could be a full year, where that 187.5 could be 6 months to a year, one of the two, depending on which bank you choose and CD and rate and yada, yada, yada. But this is the point, is the banks don't like this. They want people to put their money with their banks, not into crypto and not with these other firms. So there's a battle going on. Trump wants crypto and banks to work together. Banks don't want to work with crypto because they have competitive offerings, if not better offerings than what they offer. So here's a solution, banks. Make better options. Make better offerings. Increase the rate. Like, that's probably a lot harder than I'm making it out to be. I'm not a banking expert, but yeah. Long story short, the industry's here to stay. Crypto and blockchain's here to stay, banks. Figure it the fuck out, please. Donald Trump has thrown his support behind crypto firms in their high-stakes battle against the U.S. banks over whether they can offer interest-like returns on stable coins. And I see, what is it, like on Coinbase, 3.1%? If you just keep your USDC with Coinbase, something like that. And that's very similar to, again, like a CD or an option that you could pick with a bank. Trump's ratcheting up the pressure on social media, on banks to relent to stablecoin yield. The Genius Act is being threatened and undermined by banks, and this is unacceptable, says Trump. They need to make a good deal with the crypto industry because that's what's best for the interests of the American people. The president, whose family has interest in this crypto industry, has hosted a series of White House meetings between the two sides in a hope of brokering a deal. So he's obviously got a huge interest in banks accepting crypto and working with crypto. It benefits him. But it doesn't just benefit him, it benefits the wider crypto market. My only concern is that he's championing it. He's championing crypto and blockchain so hard. Let's just say crypto, not even blockchain. I don't even think he understands how blockchain works. But anyways, he's championing crypto so hard. My biggest concern is that when the House, the Congress, and this is just for the U.S., for all my international people who don't give a shit about this, but if he's championing it so hard, when the office, the House, the Congress, congressional members are swapped out with the opposition or the opposite party, that they're going to remove or walk back everything that he's worked with the crypto industry. And that's going to be very hard to do. You remember how hard it was to get things done, getting slapped with Wells notice for shit that you thought was good, but then the SEC said it wasn't good, so on and so forth. So we'll see how things go. But my question to you is, one, do you participate in your bank? It doesn't matter what bank it is, and don't specify what bank it is, but do you participate in their offerings, their CDs, their interest-bearing products, Or do you just only do it in crypto? And are you staking? Are you participating in whatever crypto opportunities there are for you to earn on whatever? You're hodling it anyways, right? You're hodling it long term. Might as well earn some interest on it. But are you concerned, that they're not FDIC insured, that they could go down, stuff like that. But are you with the banks offerings? Are you utilizing them? And are you with crypto offerings and you're utilizing them? That's my main question to you guys. If you have time to comment or share down below. But yeah, GJT is trying to put pressure on the banks. Work with the damn crypto bros, bro. And let's see what happens. Coinbase shares surge as much as 15% midday trading Wednesday, while stocks at JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America fell 1%. While Trump's decision to back the crypto industry could sway members of the Republican Party, it's unclear his support is enough to ensure the bill's passage. And specifically, we're talking about the Genius Act. So we'll see how things go. But Coinbase can offer yields on stablecoin. Kraken can offer yields on stablecoin. While crypto companies see it as a consumer-friendly innovation that will let people earn money on their idle funds, banks have warned that competing product could siphon trillions of dollars from their industry, just like billions are being siphoned from our industry to fund the AI hype or to buy into gold or whatever. It's just the way things go. But banks don't want to give up their position, right? That's why banking, lobbying, out of all the lobbying parties, there's only a handful that are very powerful. The oil industry, the banking industry, and the energy sector. And specifically energy companies that want to charge you a lot of fucking money, even though they haven't upgraded their infrastructure to the standards that they should in the modern era in years. So it's very hard to fight. That's why Trump saying something helps a little bit, but will it be enough? I have no idea. A lot of people who like Jamie Dimon, who didn't like Bitcoin and crypto, are coming onto Bitcoin and crypto side, but will it be enough? I don't know. He says here, it can't be you have these people doing one thing without any regulation and these people doing another, says Jamie Dimon. If you do that, the public will pay. It will get bad. Of course, Jamie Dimon, while he's changed his tune on Bitcoin, is always going to support the banks. Americans should earn money on their money, Trump said in a post. This industry cannot be taken from the people of America when it is so close to becoming truly successful. Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, which provides yields to the members through what critics call in the banking industry call a loophole, is current regulations. Armstrong, seen the banks as their main adversary in the dispute, met with Trump at the White House shortly before the president's social media post, according to the person with the knowledge of the meeting. The detail was reported earlier with Politico. So Brian Armstrong talked to Trump. He made that post. Things sort of rallied a little bit, and then Thursday hit, and then shit hit the fan. Both banks and crypto firms have reasons to support the passage of the Clarity Act, but it's unclear whether that will happen given the disagreement. Earlier this year, Trump attempted to pressure the banks to cap credit card interest rates, but the industry had enough support among Republicans and Democrats to ward off the threat. And that's another thing, like 29% interest on your debt. Like, really? And I know, like, you might have a bad credit. I understand that. So you're going to have a higher interest rate. I understand that. But, like, at some point in time, like, we're just stealing from people. We're just taking advantage of the less fortunate. And that includes the medical sector. So I hope things move forward. But analysts warn that Clarity Act 2026 could be crypto's next sell the news event. So, everybody gets hyped up about the Clarity Act. They start going in. This was March 6th. This was yesterday. It stalled in the Senate, but widely expected to pass. Investors are already pricing in the major rally. JP Morgan called it a positive catalyst. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse put the odds at 90% by the end of April. And unfortunately, like it's moving forward. It's looking good, but it could be, you know, the buy the rumor, sell the news. Just because it's crypto, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be taking this into account. So you could see, you know, like a rally, right? But with a fall. But then we also got to take into account, we got the 3-day death cross. We're on the oversold territory already. So it could be like a short rally, but then that 20% dip comes into effect or whatever before we actually do our final leg up into positive territory, switching this short-term bearish trend into a more long-term bull market. And you got to look at where we were, right? If we take it from the short-term high of where we were back in October to where we are now, we fell 46% over 152 days. So another 20% would be a 70% drawdown, to be honest. How much was this drawdown? And how long did it last? So the bottom was 364 days. That was a long bear market. I think the 2018 one was even longer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before it started going back up. Yeah, 413 days. So we're only at 100 plus, you know, days. You know, there's a chance that we just continue to move sideways in this range between, you know, 76 and 60K. But we'll see what happens with the 3-day death cross, the geopolitical issues, and this bill passing in the future. I do think it's positive, though, that other countries like Kazakhstan central bank is trying to build up their reserves. Kazakhstan central bank has confirmed plans to carve out a $350 million from its roughly 69 billion stockpile of gold and foreign exchange reserves to build a crypto-focused portfolio. You know, gold has been doing very well, and they got 69 billion in the stockpile of gold and foreign exchange reserves. That's actually a very good idea to diversify the portfolio. You're not taking much. You still got, you know, it's only 350 million, so you still got 69 bill stockpile, while gold is at its highest it's ever been, or close to its all-time high still, to try to build something cool. That would be awesome. Rather than loading Bitcoin directly into the balance sheet, the National Bank would channel capital into funds, index products, and equities tied to the digital asset infrastructure, including Bitcoin and Ethereum exposure via intermediary vehicles. The allocation slated to begin around April-May. So here we go, right? We already know that these banks and institutions and major companies have stated publicly and filed that they will be working to achieve a target of amount of Bitcoin on a balance sheet. We already know that. And some of them have continued to buy as Bitcoin has swung lower, playing the long game. A lot of retail are fearing, a lot of short-term investors are fearful, and that's why you're having this consistent drawdown. Every time we get a leg up, we get pulled right back down, plus all the leverage trading that's going on. Prediction market taking funds away from us, AI market taking funds away from us, gold taking some of the hype away from. So everything is going against Bitcoin and crypto as a whole right now. But when that motherfucker comes back, you best believe people are going to be singing a different tune. Anybody who's been talking ish or doubting or shitting on Bitcoin because it's going through this short-term bear cycle, this is not the first bear cycle, and this won't be the last. They're going to be singing a different tune when that sucker pops off. But another country is looking to diversify their portfolio to try to shore up their positions, to strengthen their reserves, and they're doing so by using the stockpile of gold and foreign assets that they have to do so. I think that's very positive. It's another country to join the plethora of countries / institutions that are doing so. So we'll see how things go. The timing intersects directly with a very tight crypto market. Bitcoin is trading, consolidating, blah, 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 yada, yada. I wonder when they will buy. Against the backdrop, Kazakhstan's 350 million is not huge in nominal terms, but it's sticky. Multi-year reserve capital, precisely the kind of flow that strengthens the narrative of Bitcoin as emerging reserve injunct rather than just a speculative trade. And you got to think, as these companies get more into it, or institutions get more into it, it's just going to strengthen the credibility of Bitcoin. It's not what Satoshi Nakamoto intended for Bitcoin to be used. It was meant for the people, not the institutions, not the central powers. But unfortunately, this is just the way the world is now. Hence the reason why Satoshi backed off the white paper or the blog once the FBI wanted to have some chats. So, moving on. Let's see who the startup is that's working on an orbital data center that teases Bitcoin mining in space. After proving it could run an Nvidia H100 GPU in orbit, U.S. startup StarCloud plans to launch a dedicated Bitcoin mining rig into space. StarCloud. Was that the name of the company that talked to me? Hang on. StarCloud. They're looking for electrical engineer. Okay, they're in Redmond, Washington. Mechanical engineer, power electronics engineer, software engineer, thermal engineer. Okay. Interesting. Scalability. Try and look for any brands that stick out to me. I wonder if they merged with the company I was talking to. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. What do you guys think about this? During an appearance on the Hyperchange YouTube channel, StarCloud CEO Philip Johnston said the company is pretty focused on the constellation for now, but later in the interview, he added, there's also Bitcoin mining. We have some Bitcoin mining ASICs on the second spacecraft launching later this year. So that I think the other company either got brought in or merged with this company. But yeah, the rigs weren't like Big Boy, which range from $600 to a few $1,000s, are still substantially cheaper than Nvidia enterprise GPUs, which are usually $30,000. We're solving it for the energy piece. Whether we solve it for GPUs or Bitcoin, this is relevant to us. Very interesting. I mean, I wonder how the thermals, I have to look into it, but I wonder how the thermals are, because you're operating in vacuum, very cold temperatures. If you have a heat sink kind of connected to the outer frame of the spaceship or capsule, you can use that cool temperatures to try to keep the ASIC chips nice and cool, or to output the heat into space. Of course, when we get hit with major solar events, then that would inflict the heat onto the ASIC chips. Very interesting. There's obviously the space agencies already solved the thermal issues, but I'm just curious how that works. I gotta look into it. Some more. We got 10 minutes left. I'm in my last article, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please at me or send a super chat, only if you can afford to do so. Don't send money when you're tight on your bills, please. Solo Satoshi launches BitAxe Turbo Touch on open source touchscreen Bitcoin miner. We know Solo Satoshi. Worked with them on the channel. Did a giveaway with them. Small Texas mining hardware company is releasing what it says to be the most powerful open source touchscreen Bitcoin miner currently available to home users. Houston-based Solo Satoshi announced the launch of BitAxe Turbo Touch, a compact device designed for the hobbyists and home miners that delivers more than double the hash rate of other touchscreen miners in its categories. According to a note shared with Bitcoin Magazine, the unit produced about 2.15 terahash per second. The product builds on the open source Bidax GT801 platform and is powered by dual BM1370 ASIC chips, the same chips used in the Bitmain Antminer S21 Pro. The chips allow the device to achieve efficiency of roughly 18 joules per terahash. According to the company, during testing, the device reportedly reached 3 terahash when overclocked. Don't forget, I showed you how you can overclock your bit axes and your nerd Q axes on the channel. Have it on my GitHub if you want to download and modify some of the files to your liking. But I have the foundation there for you. If you haven't used it, please check it out. I use RetroMike's Docker the solution for the normal bit axes, but then I customize the Nerd QX solution for those specifically. Probably would need to do the same thing with this because this is 3 terahash using the S19 Pro A6 Antminer BM1370 chips. So probably need to do the same thing, especially with the power delivery and the voltage required, so on and so forth. I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on one of these. But if Satoshi wanted to send one, I would definitely do a full review. I already informed them. And then I can show the overclocking aspect and see what we can push ours to. Otherwise, I'm still working to coordinate with various companies like FutureBit, Solo Satoshi, other Bidax, and microscale miners. So we'll see. But yeah, Matt, who's the CEO of Solo Satoshi, said the company prioritized transparency when building the device. We built it because we believe the tools people use to interact with Bitcoin should be fully verifiable, right? Every line of code between the ASIC chips and the pixels on the screen is open source. And it's just open, I can open it up in Visual Studio and I can modify, change, do whatever I need to. It's all open source. It's great. Now, the device consumes about 43 watts of power and produces roughly 35 decibels of noise. I wonder what kind of cooler. Do they have a picture of it? I'm sure we can find a picture of it somewhere. But let's just go to their website. Let's see here. I don't think it's out yet. Shop all products. I don't think this is it. Maybe it's it. Let's take a look at it. All right, 3D printed boxes, Type C on the side. Ooh, look at the pin connector. It's very similar to what we use for, powering multiple bit axes and stuff like that with one of the Meanwell power supplies. Touchscreen looks like a, 7-inch? What inch screen is that? Hello? Tell me the size of your screen, please. Oh, 4.3 inch. 80 by 480 captive touchscreen, okay. Got the time. Got the current block height. Got the hash rate. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. I like that. So I was talking about this in an upcoming video, which I almost spoiled. When you see a block that says unknown, that could be a solo miner, whether it's through FutureBit, their own node, whatever it might be. But normally you're going to see, the main pools, Foundation, or Foundry, excuse me, not Foundation, F2 pool, so on and so forth. But that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I wish I had a picture of the power supply. Did they not give us a picture of the power supply? 43 watts, yada yada yada. Built-in performance models. It's 45 watts. So is it just powered via? No, it's not powered via Type C. It's powered via this connector. But do you get a power supply with it? Yeah, 12 volt DC power via the XT30 connector. Power supply optional. Okay, it's not optional because I have to select it in order to buy it. So what do you mean? What you mean? It's not optional. I don't have a discount for you, but if you hang tight, maybe I could get a discount code for you. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I would like one solo Satoshi. Open source Bitcoin mining. We're not new to this. A lot of us know this. We've been doing many reviews on the channel. Yada, yada, yada. The open source miners united community is really cool. You guys should be involved in that if you're not. Really great group of guys and girls. Love talking about it. Love just speaking with like-minded individuals, man. Look at that heat sink. So we got a fan on the far side coming out the vents on this side. I'm pretty sure if you dismantled the 3D printed box, you probably get better airflow and temps, but it would look really cool on my desk right here. I wonder how loud it would be. It's 35 decibels, like interfering with your audio as we're doing a live stream or whatever. But yeah, let me see if Satoshi has a discount code for me to share with you, the community, and I hope that we can review a unit in the future. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section down below, or in the live chat as we get ready for Mr. Red Panda Mining here in a bit. See, this is that shit I'm talking about, and this shit right here. Bob slam it. Bob slam it. All right, where's he at? Where's he at? Here he is. And of course, instead of hanging out with us, you got fucking multiple people just sitting in chat. Well, at least Rudd is hanging out with us. Fully Electric left me. He doesn't love me anymore. Oh, Squirrel Masters. Ooh, you better be in here, Squirrel Masters. You better be in here. I will find you, sir. All right, so let me give you an update. Personally, that's going to be the end of the overall crypto news. Might just do some slight banter over the next 3 minutes as we get ready for Red Panda Mining to go live at here at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some positive news, some exciting news, some not so exciting news. Just a mixed bag of shit in the crypto landscape. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue to dollar cost average, stack my sats, and I hope to somehow make it to some of the crypto events. I don't know if I'll be able to. So yeah, let's chat real quick. You don't need to know details because you guys already know about Papa Serpent. You already know about my uncle. There's more shit on the horizon. I will be in Indiana. Oh my God. Indiana. Can't speak. I will be in Indiana. If anybody's in Indiana, north of Indianapolis, north of Carmel, southwest of Fort Wayne, I will be there. It'll be nice. I don't know what happened to what's not your normal miner, Wes. I've been trying to reach him. I haven't talked to him in years, but it would be nice to talk to him and catch up or see some of the mining facilities while I'm there. I have to help out with my in-laws who've had some turbulence in their life recently, medically, and they really need help. So I will be gone for some time. I will do my best to bring you guys some videos and live streams while I'm there. I will be working remotely while doing my best to help out the fam. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm trying to see if I can make it to Mine Disrupt in July. I know I am a media partner. I did get that confirmation, but I just don't know financially, travel. If I travel, I'm going to have to drive. We got the car running. You guys know about that. It drove well to Sick Week. It drove well to Fuel Fest. And those two events were like the only way I could get this right. That it's been nonstop, but I'm not the only one in the world. And I know you guys all have problems. I'm just giving you an update. I'm not trying to measure dicks. I'm just saying it's just nonstop. It's something I have to step up I wish some other people in the family would be able to do the same, but it seems they don't. And then it's left to me. So take care of your family, take care of your loved ones, take care of yourselves, because as we get older, shit starts falling apart, and then it kind of cascades and stuff like that. Speaking of which, I need to go get checked and stuff like that for all the problems that run in my family. So I'll be in Indiana for a decent amount of time. I would do my best to get you guys content. I hope you do well. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family's healthy. If they're not, I hope that they're regaining their health and getting back to 110%. And yeah, stay tuned. I push out content when I can and live stream as soon as I can and stuff like that. But bear with me. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you allowing me to do these automotive adventures, even though they're not relative to what the channel is mainly about. But sometimes you just need to get a break mentally. Okay? So right now I have nothing going on. Red Panda Mining is late as usual. So we'll see. Hobbyist Miners chilling in there. Red, you're late again. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? No, it doesn't look like it. Everybody's saying hi to each other, saying goodbye to each other. Awesome stream. Thank you, Automatic Beats. The wood company I work for are adding AI scanner to grade wood and removing one job. Okay. I mean, at least it's not, getting rid of your job or releasing a bunch of people, but it's optimizing and making things more efficient. That's cool. Hope everything goes well for you too, Rizzo. All right, there you go. Red Panda Mining is going live. You guys head on over there. Have yourself a great day. Do me a favor on the way out. Hit that like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description. And I hope you have yourself a wonderful day. All right? Take care. I'll catch you next one.